The Timberwolves were in the playoffs. They were playing the Houston Rockets. Jimmy Butler is covering James Harden, and he kind of gave him a little push on the sidelines, and he fell into the crowd. So I got away from the ball and just followed him falling into the crowd, thinking, okay, he's going to fall into the stands, and there'll be something that develops from that. Fans had really good expression on their face, but one fan jumped up and pointed at him. It just kind of made for kind of an interesting photo. I remember picking up my phone and just seeing Twitter blowing up. It was just rolling and rolling and rolling. I'm like, oh my, what's happening? And it was just kind of funny to see what a lot of people took the image and did with it. It seemed to kind of resonate with a lot of people, and they had fun with it. So. I'm a staff photographer at Star Tribune, and my job is to cover stories in our community.
Oh, that's a fun one. I don't even know if I remember that.
Yeah, that's one that doesn't get lost in the mix.
I think the other one's probably better than that one.
That one?
I mean, if you were going to pick between the two.
I could kill it like that.
Which one was the one that we ended up printing?
I think this is the one that I'd sent.
To work at the level that Carlos and the rest of our photo and video staff works, I think you just have to have passion every day. Yeah, you're not doing it for the money, you're not doing it for the fame, you're doing it because it's just a heck of a lot of fun and you love doing it. You wake up the next day and something comes up, like 2 years ago when Prince died. And we knew we wanted to get aerial shots of Prince's estate in Chanhassen. So I called Carlos maybe around noon and said, hey, I think we're gonna try to get you up in the air as soon as we can.
After we landed, I went to the site because all the mourners started showing up and we were covering that. And then it was crazy because it cleared up and there was a rainbow that went over. It was kind of a nice little moment from the day. Garden City was pretty wild. And I'd just gotten back from covering the Olympics in Beijing. My assignment was to be outside the building, so I was covering most of the protests. So I got pepper sprayed and gassed as well. I was right behind a set of protesters and got hit. So it took me out of it for a while, but then I ended up staying out for longer.
Welcome to a special 90-minute edition of Almanac, the final debate of the 1998 campaign.
This was a televised debate between three candidates running for governor, which was Jesse Ventura, Norm Coleman, and Skip Humphrey. So before they went on, a makeup person was actually just powdering Jesse Ventura's head, because he was bald, just to get a little shine off before they went on air. So just a little quiet moment.
I think absolutely the governor is a role model. He's the top man in the state. He represents the state of Minnesota.
And then sure enough, the story developed and he won the election. My junior college instructors were photojournalists at the Sacramento Bee, which is the largest city near where I grew up. And they showed the work from all the things they did over the years at the Bee, and it just really inspired me. I thought it was just really cool that that's what they did and how their approach and just the images they made and the things they got to be witness to. I thought it was just a really cool thing. And as I kind of got more into it, I kind of decided that that's the path I wanted to go, and I wanted to try to make a career out of that. I guess the good and difficult things of this job is that you can never perfect it. You can always work to get better at it. Every time I look at an image, I can just see how it could be better. And there's always something lacking, and it pushes you to work harder and to get better. Yeah, there's definitely patience involved, there's instinct involved, there's knowing the sport, knowing the event, knowing the game. I mean, all those things contribute to it. You just never really know what's going to happen. Anticipation, I think, is a real big part of it, and just kind of seeing what happens and be ready for it when it does. Baseball is actually, I think, one of the hardest sports to shoot because the ball moves so fast. It's 100 miles an hour this way, 100 miles this way, and the play's over, and you got to be back and forth. With other sports, you always have basically two people kind of fighting for the ball. So there's potential for a lot of action. And if you're not paying attention, some play can happen and it'll be over before you know it. And you're like, well, I just missed the whole thing. So that's what makes baseball really hard. The fraction of a second is the difference between a great image and one that's just off a bit. And when you have them side by side, you can see it. It's obvious. You can look at them and go, yeah, this is the one. It's just that little thing. It's just that little difference that puts them over the top, that separates them from everybody else. I mean, you never know. In baseball, it could be a home run in the first and that's the only score, or it could be a walk-off in the ninth and it was back and forth. So So I just kind of let games develop because there's really no sense of thinking, oh, what do I need now or what I need here, because it can change throughout the game. In a moment, trying to organize it in the frame, and that's part of the challenge of seeing a situation develop and then thinking, how am I going to compose this and hope that it comes together and capturing that moment. I mean, that's the talent that some photographers can do, where they can just see something and see how it's going to develop and then capture it. And not only capture the moment, but capture it in a beautiful way. And that's a challenge. And it is, because you have no control over what's happening in the situation. This, you get one shot, and if you miss it, you miss it. And nothing you can do about it.